I definitely think that after that game we had on the weekend, this is deserving. Gee, they like to call this one the post-match pint, I reckon. I reckon this is a bit of a post-match pint. Gee, she goes down beautifully. So what's going on, guys? Tommy back here again from Talking Sports wearing shorts. Just a little breakdown after the opening day, the Premier League opening day, Liverpool versus Fulham, and the result there, 2-2. Look, the result is not the end of the world, but the performance is what we need to talk about. It was not very good, and that's what we're going to jump into here today. So obviously, if you're brand new, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you are new, make sure you're following us on all the socials. All that shit out of the way, let's jump into it. There's a lot to talk about. So Fulham versus Liverpool ended up 2-2, as most of you probably know by now. If you're not, you're living under a fucking rock. But we're here to talk about that game. We're here to talk about specifically the performance and specifically a few injuries that happened within that game. And I think the massive talking point for me is Thiago going down once again. Now, look, if you have been following the channel, if you're following me specifically, you would know that I made a video not too long ago talking about Liverpool's potential issue in the midfield. I spoke about this literally before the season started, and I said that if a player goes down, Liverpool are going to be very thin. Now, look, at the start of the year, I've predicted Liverpool to win the league. I think that their starting 11 is good enough to win the league, and I think that Man City may just struggle, integrating Haaland. But we've already seen with the amount of injuries that Liverpool have and the amount of injuries to key players, this is the thing. It's not so much the injuries to lesser-known players. They've got so many players injured already, and it's the first game of the season. They've got Kanate out, Thiago, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Naby Keita, Curtis Jones. That's 4 midfielders right there. And then you have Diogo Jota as well. It's just becoming one of those things already for Liverpool that, look, a lot of these key players for them that's going to push them onto a title charge are getting injured. We have to talk about Thiago. The man is a walking glass. He's just, every time he's on the fucking field, he breaks. He doesn't play a lot of football. It's just a complete contrast to what they had him before in Gini Wijnaldum. He was durable, indestructible. The guy could play 90 minutes game in, game out. And that they've never really replaced him. Let's be honest about it. We've never really replaced Wijnaldum. I think Thiago is a better player in terms of technical ability, everything he's got in his locker. I'm not disputing that at all. I think we can all say that. But his issue is staying on the pitch, and this could be an issue going forward for Liverpool. Like I said, I think that Liverpool have got the best team, I feel, and I think that will iron itself out as the season goes on. But if they get too many injuries, especially to key positions, it's really going to hurt them. They haven't invested in the midfield. They've only invested in attacking midfield and players in terms of Carvalho and stuff like that. And this is one thing I really wanted to touch on. Jurgen Klopp's biggest asset. Now, what makes Jurgen Klopp so good is how he trusts in his players. He believes in his players, and so many managers out there try to replicate that, but they can never do it. His best asset is also his worst. And what I mean by that is he puts so much trust in his players and he believes in his players so much that he thinks that he doesn't need the backup. I think we can all agree that sometimes Klopp thinks he's okay with what he's got. And sometimes he's wrong. We saw that in the 2021 season when we got all those injuries and he sold Dejan Lovren and he didn't replace him. Now, look, Lovren wasn't the best centre-back in the world, but he didn't replace him. And then obviously we got all those injuries that we did. Is this going to be another season? Thiago doesn't play a lot of football. He didn't play a lot last year. He obviously had some niggling injuries. And this is the really tough thing, right? Because Liverpool do get injuries. If you look at the season last year, they had injuries in the midfield as well. Not all 3 of those industrial midfielders in terms of Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago all played the entire year. Even Milner was out for a large majority. Keita was out for a large majority. Oxlade-Chamberlain was out for a large majority. Curtis Jones was out sometimes. So they had all that issues going on, and they still finished second. And they still had the 3 cup finals, and they still won 2 cups, the Champions League final. So it's really hard to judge, you know what I mean? Like, on the face of it and on paper, it looks like Liverpool are in a struggle. But maybe they're not. I don't know. It's really tough. It's hard to figure out sometimes, man. It does my nut in. Because when you look at it, I'm looking at it now and saying, damn, Liverpool are going to be short, and this could really affect their season. But then on the flip side, maybe Klopp's just got it figured out. He's got potential. He can play the 4-2-3-1, which he might have to now, to complement Núñez in, which we've got to touch on right now. I want to move on to Bobby Firmino. Though, look, Bobby Firmino's been an incredible servant for Liverpool. I think he's been fantastic. There's no getting away from the fact that he's been a legend. I'm not even going to go down that route because the man has been incredible. However, I think his time is coming to an end. I think when Firmino isn't very effective and isn't very good, he severely affects the side more than what other players do because he's that linchpin. He drops deep. He links midfield to attack, and if he's not playing very well, it wrecks the entire system. That first half yesterday was as bad as I've seen from Firmino, and not just Firmino. There was a lot of players that played terrible. Trent is just I don't know when we're going to wake up and say, look, this guy can't defend. He just can't defend. And there's been too many times now where it's just simple. It's just a back post, it's a route one ball, and he doesn't jump. He's got to do something about it. Klopp really, I know you get the output from Trent going forward is the best in the world, but at the end of the day, he's got to stop these goals going in. And it was terrible. But he wasn't the only one, like I said. A lot of them played bad. But Nunez coming on at halftime, with it being one game of the season already, it looks like, man, this guy's going to have to play every game. Until Jota comes back, Nunez is going to have to start because he's dynamic, he's fast, he's agile, he's tall, he's strong. He adds so many different styles into the game. And Liverpool looked 10 times better when he was on the pitch. Now, look, the result isn't the worst. Draw on the opening day, that's not going to cost you a league title. We saw it last year. Man City lost on opening day to Spurs, and they didn't lose the title. So the result isn't the worst thing, but the performance is the concern. And Klopp said after the game that it was one of the worst games he's seen his Liverpool side play, and I've got to agree. I thought it was terrible. They were a shambles. But the light at the end of the tunnel is that you can only get better from there. So they didn't lose a game somehow, but it's only going to get better from there, you would hope. I don't think they're going to play like that again. They were dreadful. They were dreadful. Anyway, guys, just touching on that, what do you reckon about Liverpool's crisis injury scenario so far? 5 players out, 5 players, key players that could go straight into the starting 11. Let's be serious about this. That's 5 players in the starting 11. Any way you slice it, you could fit them in. And they're out. So it's a little issue, but they're going to have to deal with it just like every team does. But, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, that about wraps it up. If you like, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you are new. Check out the link to all our socials down below. Check out the stream, the Twitch stream. That's going to be up and running for this coming season. It was supposed to be up for this game, just gone. Things happened. We didn't get it up and running, so it's all good. But make sure you check it all out. Follow us on all our socials. And as usual, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.